Hey guys, welcome back to Remodel Renovations, where today we're going to be talking about our master bath and shower surround remodel, and we'll talk about some of the things that we use to help us in the process. Here we go. You can start the process of removing the old shower by scoring the wall with a razor blade along the edges so you don't tear any paint when removing the old tile. Because the old tile was fixed to an extra piece of drywall over the existing wall, it was easy to remove. I hammered holes in the tile along the wall I wanted to remove, and I'd recommend hammering out sections that are easy to hold and carry out of the bathroom. It's safer to start at the top of the wall and work your way down, that way pieces don't fall on top of you whenever you're removing tiles below. You definitely want to wear some kind of eye protection or gloves during this process. Anytime I make a lot of dust doing demo work, I also like to wear a respirator. During this process, I'm not worried about damaging the wall behind the tile because I'm going to be replacing it with cement board. Make sure the water is shut off before you start on the shower wall containing the valves and shower head. You also want to unscrew your valve handles and shower head before removing the wall. Be careful not to hammer too hard around the plumbing behind the wall. During the demolition process, I used the tub to hold my debris and then brought it out after I was done. During this video, I'm going to utilize footage from another bathroom remodel so you can see how I installed the new shower valve and tub. Alright, once we take the little drain grill off, and put your tub removal tool on, just get down, screwdriver, put in there and turn it. Soon enough, you should be able to do it by hand. Next, we'll go ahead and remove our drain lever. Alright, if you haven't already, you can go ahead and cut the caulk along the bottom of the tub, and there's only a few nails that are hammered in around the tub, and you might have screws, but you'll remove those and then we'll be able to take the tub and lift it up from the back and remove it. Depending on your tub spout will depend on how you take it off. Mine just unscrewed like a screw. Some of them have an Allen wrench, you just got to check it. Alright, here we got the hot water line. Go ahead and disconnect. Water is shut off already. These pipe cutting tools are great, but make sure you just do it slowly so that you don't bend the copper pipe because it's pretty soft metal. Okay, we got our hot water line and our cold water line, and we're going to put on these valves. Alright, with these valves, this is a shark bite valve. So with these, there's a chart and it shows you how far the insertion should be for what diameter pipe, and for a 1/2 inch it's 15/16 of an inch. So you can see I marked my little black spot here, so I know that it's fully inserted in there and I don't have to worry about whether it's far enough in there or not. The nice thing about these is that you can rotate them once they're on. I'm going to shut these off just like that, and then we can turn the water back on. After removing the old fixture, we replaced the drain kit, which we can access through the access panel or around the tub to adjust it. Alright, so you want to pay attention to which way is up on here. We're going to go ahead and solder in our tub spout. Here I installed the board that I'll be mounting the valve to. You want to make sure and read the manufacturer's recommendations for the depth of the valve to the wall set. Alright, so you can use plumber's tape, plumber's putty. I used this, which is T+2 pipe thread sealant. We're going to put PEX to this. So you want to leave enough room, one for the pipe and also the fitting. The beautiful thing about PEX is it doesn't have to be exact. So and these lines have some play. So we're gonna cut it off about right here. Whenever you cut PEX to get a nice straight line, when you're cutting it, you're gonna turn the pipe in the cutter. That way you don't collapse the pipe under the blade. Got to put my rings on that side. Now we get our PEX crimp tool. Go ahead and crimp it on this cold water line. The person who taught me to use a PEX crimp tool always told me to crimp twice on the same ring. So, for what it's worth. I decided to use PEX because it's super easy to work with. After you get everything installed, you can remove the extra length of pipe. That way you can get the tub in. Some tubs require a mortar bed and others come with a stand that will sit directly on the foundation. Once everything is level, you can go ahead and secure the tub into the studs with screws. It helps to have somebody on the other end of the tub making sure that the drain assembly is all in line. Here you can see the top of the drain overflow in the drain kit is too short, so we use this flexible fitting that I'd highly recommend because it allows you to put the drain overflow in perfect position for a good seal. After you have the drain overflow secure, you can go ahead and install the drain for the tub. I would put a surplus of sealant here. That way you make sure it's secure because you don't want to come back and have to fix a leak. I always start mine by loosening it first until I make sure it seats well so I'm not cross-threading the drain, and then I use my tub removal tool. In this case it's now tightening, making sure that it's secure but not so tight that I'm going to crack the tub. Unfortunately I didn't get any video of putting the cement board up, but if you intend on having a cubby for your soap and shampoo, you'll want to frame it up before installing your cement board. Ours was framed to be 14 by 14 inches, and the bottom of it was 3 feet above the top of the tub. After adding the cement board and tile, the final dimensions were 12 by 12 inches, so you want to account for the loss of room whenever deciding on your dimensions. To install the cement boards to the studs, I used a 1 5/8 inch cement board screw that's supposed to reduce any kind of cracking or splitting in the cement board. You shouldn't have to pre-drill with these screws, and the head sits flush with the surface of the cement board. Then at every joint and crack, I put this mesh tape just to be there to connect the two pieces of cement board together and any other gaps. And then I use my mortar, and this is a Maypie product, to basically coat and seal any of those joints. And I just use my float to scrape that on and then remove any excess. Once installed, the cement board should sit over the lip of your tub. After putting the mesh tape over the joints of my cement board and applying mortar, I waited until it was dry and then rolled on a waterproofing membrane similar to this that turns yellow, but they don't make it anymore. I was told that it was overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I decided to put on the waterproofing membrane. After it was completely dry, I could start my first row of tile. Whenever you're starting your first row of tile, you want to make sure that it is both straight and level, and the way to do that and ensure that is by using a product like this. This product was actually sent to me to review. It's a DOVOH H3 360G, and it's a self-leveling laser. And it actually casts a laser in 3 different directions. It is a green laser, which is suitable for both indoor use and outdoor use. It's highly visible, highly accurate, and it actually comes with a 5-year warranty, which is super cool. The product can be used with both battery for power or a USB-C cable, which is good if you were to ever run out of battery power. It does come with a backup battery, which is pretty cool, and that lasts for several hours, so I don't know that you would ever need to use that, but you have it in case you need it. And for outdoor use, it even comes with some green glasses and this green hit plate, which is supposed to enhance the visibility in outdoor space. It even comes with a magnetic mounting plate, which can be hung on the wall, hung on a tripod, or if you had some kind of magnetic surface like a refrigerator or metal plate, you could mount it to there and then you could adjust the laser as needed. So we'll go ahead and show you how we use a product just like this in order to ensure that our first layer of tile was level, as well as every subsequent layer after that to ensure that it was in line with it as well. So you can see we already have our self-leveling laser on, and this is the way that you're going to ensure that your first row is level. Now you can take either a pen or a marker, or you can do what I did, which is use a chalk line, hold one end here and somebody else can hold that end. You can pop your chalk line to ensure where you're going to be putting the top of that first row of tile, and you want to have a tile handy to hold up. That way you can make sure that it's going to fit in between where the laser is and the lip of your tub. So you'll do that for both side walls and the back wall, because it might fit on this wall and in this wall, but maybe if your tub's not level, it's not going to fit beneath the laser, between the laser and your tub, and you're going to wind up having to cut the bottom of your tile to keep everything level. So the way that you can ensure that that doesn't happen is by doing that, and you can raise the level of your laser. That way you can fit the tile there, and what will happen is you might have a little bit of a discrepancy between your grout line or your caulk line on one side of the tub versus the other, and that might be a because of a manufacturer defect in the lip of the tub and it's not level, or maybe you didn't level the tub exactly the way it should be. But you want to make sure to be able to fit that first row of tile underneath that laser and have everything level to start with before you start your subsequent rows. I also casted a vertical laser to ensure that every other row was going to be in line with one another. So not only is everything going to be straight and level this way, but it's going to be straight that way. So you can also cast a vertical line to be able to make sure that everything is lined up vertically as well as horizontally. That way your shower looks great.
You can see where I marked the vertical lines and another horizontal line for the second row. I will note that once I had my first row of tile installed, I let it sit for 24 hours before I installed the next series of rows, so I'd have a solid and level foundation for the subsequent rows. I continued up the wall and stopped again for 24 hours after installing the decorative row to make sure the weight of the tile above it wouldn't push any of the sheet tiles down. I was able to cut each tile sheet into 3 equal sections to achieve this look. Once it sat for 24 hours, I popped new vertical and horizontal lines and continued up the wall where I wanted to stop my top row. Once everything was dry, I removed all of my spacers, cleared excess mortar out of my grout lines, and grouted the tiles with my float. The grout I used had a sealer mixed in so I wouldn't have to come back and seal all of my grout later. The most labor-intensive portion of this project was the decorative sheet tile. It took a ton of spacers to keep all the individual pieces straight and level. It was a pain clearing all of the excess mortar out of all of the cracks with a toothpick prior to grouting, but I am so glad I did it because it's what made the shower stand out and look great. If you want more detail and information on the tiling and grouting process, you can check out my backsplash video, whose link should be popping up now or in the video description.
Alright guys, I hope this is helpful in giving you an idea of what it would take to remodel your bathtub and shower surround. The DOVOH H3 360G was great. The only thing that I had for negative feedback was the battery location, because if you put this on a tripod and you have to swap out the battery, you have to take the mount off in order to get the battery out. And it doesn't have any kind of spring to eject the battery like some devices do. And so it's pretty tight in there, and you actually have to bang on the device a little bit to get it to come out, which I don't really like banging on a piece of equipment like this, but it does have a 5-year accuracy warranty on it, and it is extremely bright and accurate. I did take it outside just to test the laser out and see what it was like in outdoor conditions with the brighter laser, and it did not disappoint. I wish I had this thing whenever I did my backsplash, because I had a different brand and model, and I couldn't even back it up far enough in the room in order to cast a laser the full width of my kitchen. So it's nice with the 360G, you have a full 360 degrees laser shooting across the entire room, and it's way brighter. If y'all have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you like this video, like it. And if you're watching this on a medium that you can subscribe, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace and God bless.